So today I have with us Dorian Drummond.
Hey, thank you.
So we went to the same college. I think you were a year ahead of me, but we didn't really know each other in college. Like I know I've seen you around, but we weren't like friends in college.
Yeah.
But we connected through Malcolm, who I also interviewed for June, and we were part of his book, Urban Excellence. And I told the story, and I saw his video that he posted, and so that's basically like how we really connected. So, would you just like to tell the people a little bit about like who you are, what you do?
Of course. Yes, we did go to the same college. I was very to myself. A lot of people don't believe it, but I was usually in my room or in the gym somewhere. But I love being to myself. But my name's Dorian Drummond, but I go by the name of Mr. Drummond. I'm the man of many talents, and what I do is I'm a motivational speaker, and I help people navigate life challenges by elevating their mind. And what I like to do with my words, I like to paint a picture. I like to create a story with my words to help people heal, find love, find themselves, be more accountable of the life that they want to live and what they have. And I'm just here to uplift people and just inspire people of all ages by using my life and my story as a testimony, showing my flaws, promoting my success, just showing a little bit of everything about me to show people that it doesn't matter where you start. It only matters where you finish.
You're a motivational speaker, and I've seen you do like a lot of sessions at high schools, middle schools, just schools in general, and youth organizations. And I feel like it's so important because the older I get, the more I realize how important childhood and adolescence is, and just how that really impacts who you ultimately become, and based off of your experiences. So, can you tell us a little bit about maybe one or two childhood experiences of yours and how that impacted your mental health, maybe at that time or maybe later on, and I guess how you were able to identify and work through those experiences from your childhood?
Yeah, for sure. I was born in an environment of not really having a lot of mentors or role models. I had a lot of examples of what not to become and what not to do. So, I was born with cocaine in my system at birth, and that was also the reason why I was placed into foster care. And, as from the ages from being born to about 5 or 6, I bounced around through many homes. So I'm seeing different people, different races, different cultures, different habits. I'm being exposed to so many different things. And a lot of things happened to me and my two siblings at that time. A lot of things that I don't wish on nobody. As a kid, that I didn't have control of it. I didn't have control of or say in terms of the type of environment or type of house or income or race or whatever belief I'm born into. Like I think one of my not one of my foster homes was Jehovah's Witnesses. We didn't celebrate nothing. Like I was that, you know what I mean? And the next house was not Jehovah's Witness. So like just the things that I was exposed to, things that I was just kind of just thrown into. It was very unfair. And as a kid, I did not understand. I grew up in a lifestyle that I had to mature a lot faster than I would like. And within my adopted home, my parents was elderly, up there in age. But I just didn't understand certain things because what you see in the movies, what you see with other friends in their family, or what you see in society is the family to be perfect and it's supposed to be a loving, caring, supportive thing. And that's just what I was surrounded by. But every time I left that, that's what I was seeing.
Right.
It made me wonder, it made me just question, why do certain things happen? Why do certain things just become a cycle within one generation of a bloodline? Like, how do these things type of stop? And it wasn't until I've always been good at self-aware, and I've always been good at like acknowledging something that is when something's not right with me. But it wasn't until 2018 when I just realized the pretty much the foundation of everybody right now within my family. Like we're all currently still divided from each other. A lot of people don't really talk to nobody, but everybody's broken and hurting in some type of way. And I'm the second youngest out the crew. So, and we're large, and we're like a good large bunch. So it just made me think, like, why are we like this? I'm not putting all the blame on our parents or their parents, but I just said, like, something's going on and it needs to be broken because all I see is that next generation of the nieces and cousins and nephews is just going to be passed down to them. And who's gonna break that?
I know you spoke about, being adopted and like, being born with cocaine in your system. Like, was there ever a point where in your adulthood that it just really impacted you in a way where you didn't know what to do? Or did you always kind of have the mindset that, you know what, I'm going to change things. I'm going to break these cycles. And if you did have those low moments, how did you really work through them?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've always had like the mindset of being hard on myself, you know, want to be really extremely successful one day and things like that stuff. But it wasn't these past 3 to 4 years. I definitely hit some low moments before in terms of like in my adulthood. Like I had my low moments as a kid in my teenage years, but this was the first time in my life that I was like just experiencing the low moments as adulthood. Like when you're an adult now, you got rent, you got bills, you got a job to work, and like bills and like bills don't care about your issues. They coming back every month. Like, all right, you're depressed. We coming back, bro. So
Right.
you still gotta worry about us. So that was just, and you know, I was in a point in my life that like just everybody was like from breakup from my relationship, my ex, breakup from my best friends that I grew up with, and then like a breakup within my family because my parents moved. So it was a point in my life that like I always felt alone, but now I was like really alone because my source of venting, my source of running or getting away from my family was friends or a significant other. And it was the first time in my life that was like, boom.
Right.
What did you thought you was gonna be friends with forever? It's not there no more. Your girlfriend's not there no more. And then like family's definitely not there no more. So I had an all-time low back in 2018 after I had just left a charter school job, and I was very, very depressed. I was having suicidal thoughts. I literally became a couch potato, like just I don't want to say the B word, but you know, I just wasn't doing stuff with my life, and it seemed like that on social media because I was acting, I was modeling, I was doing Uber, I was doing these small gigs, but deep down inside, like I was really depressed. I was really going through it. I felt alone. I felt ugly. Um, and honestly, this is gonna sound cliche, but it really is like the starting point of it. I turned to God.
Yeah.
Like, and I know it sounds so cliche. Like, well, how did you really like get out of this depression? Like, no, I'm being serious. Like, I started going to church. I didn't come from a church background. I've always been spiritual, and I always believe in a God. But it's a difference when you have a relationship with Him.
Right. Right.
And I just started like trying to dive in more into the Bible. Started listening to some TDX, Michael Tide, Define Franklin, and then you know, I had an accountability partner who was kind of like going through the same thing in that season, but her story was just different. And we just started just reading the word. And I didn't understand the Bible. I could probably just read 2 seconds of it and I'll close it. But then it's just like it kept just coming. And I started praying and I started building that faith of just like, you know, people understand what faith is to believe in something that you can't physically touch or see.
Right.
And I've always believed that I was supposed to be bigger than what I was currently going through or what I was currently doing. I know that I had dreams, I had plans, and I understanding like why all of this is happening to me. Like I don't have a criminal record. I didn't get no girl pregnant. I don't fight. I don't do weed or drugs. Like I don't understand this. I just wasn't understanding like why I was going through these things. But it wasn't really to the point of just learning how to continue to walk forward in pain. I know it sounds crazy, but like you gotta go through it. You gotta embrace the pain. So prayer, going to church. I just started changing. I started embracing people who are embracing me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it took a while. Like people think healing is it just happened. Oh, it's a day by day battle.
It's a process. There's really this importance of understanding that sometimes there are things that is really just beyond you that you don't have your own strength to do. And so you have to tap into the power of His strength to really, you know, get to the other side, as you said, you know, and I think it's really important. But I want to go back to something you said that is so important and happens very often. You said that, you know, you were at a point in your life where you were very depressed and like, you know, you weren't really feeling stable. And there was a lack of stability, but yet, you know, on Instagram or social media, people might have thought otherwise. People might have thought, you know, you're modeling and whatever the case may be that was presented on social media, but inwardly there was something else going on that would basically contradict what people saw. And so I think like we live in a day and age where like there's some part of people on social media that's just not in alignment with their reality. And so I know you've said multiple times that you actually, you just went on a hiatus from social media for about 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, tell us about that and like how that really impacted you, how that impacted your mental health, and yeah, tell us about that.
we live in a society now that everything is social media heavy, right? So, I had a very bad sin of comparison and comparing myself to people, and I would get so jealous and so mad, and not that in a way that I wanted to hate on people. And
Yeah.
I actually told uh, Travis, he went to school with
Yeah.
us. I actually told Travis, like when I did the fitness camp, I was like, "Yo, bro, I ain't gonna lie, like I got a little jealous to see what you was doing," and he was telling me like, "Yo, you inspired me when you was at OS3 and you was on your fitness stuff." And him saying that to me, it was just some fact of that, like, one, you're wrong to compare yourself to other people because you don't know what they're going through. But two, is it, sometimes you're comparing yourself to other people who probably can't relate to what you're currently going through. So you're doing right now? You're just a hamster on a wheel. Like you're getting frustrated and mad and unfocused for what reasons? There's some people who can't even relate to your story. After graduation, I was homeless.
Wow.
6 months after college graduation, I was homeless.
Wow.
And I was frustrated because my mom decided to do like a last minute move that put me in a position that I had 2 weeks to try to decide where I was going to stay. Because it was literally all like December 2nd. She was like, we're out after Christmas.
Oh, wow.
So as a kid who graduated and the first to graduate after family, I'm like, how can you do this to me?
Right.
So, I was going through a breakup with my ex and my childhood friends, and then I'm just seeing everybody I went to school with travel, go all these foreign countries, get new cars, credit score booming, and healthy relationships. And I was just so, I started getting mad and jealous because I'm like, yo, I got to pay rent by myself. I'm living by myself. I got to feed myself.
Yeah.
And I was so frustrated. And I just caught myself of just like trying to be somebody that I'm not. I caught myself on staying in tune with those same people that left me and hurt me, like paying attention to see what they're doing by going there and page from time to time. And I'm like, yo, you got to shut this thing down. You gotta get away from social media because you are hurting yourself. And every time I was like off a little bit, I get back on, something will bother me, I'll get back off again. And it's like, all right, you're not ready. So then it was like, you know what? When I started becoming more in tune with God, he was just like, yo, you right now are a caterpillar, and your moment to be a butterfly will come.
Wow.
But I need to work on you, and this is not going to happen. It will work if you are on social media.
Wow.
So I literally just deactivated everything. And in that time, what it taught me was people that was really meant to be in my life. Because some people feel like, oh, if they can just go on your post, all right, he seems like he's doing well, I don't have to text him.
Right.
It really showed me who was meant to be in my life because people, I haven't seen you, bro. Like, what you doing? You good?
Right.
It taught me, it takes a whole new time of discipline because I got rid of my TV. I got rid of like my Xbox. I got rid of cable. Like I literally went full in like, yo, last year, 2019 and the ending of 2018, I was like, I really want to tune in on what God is doing with me because I'd rather sacrifice this temporary moment of pain in the season I'm in for a lifetime of blessings.
Wow. Right.
It was, I'm not saying everybody that needs to do 2 years, but I needed to do that.
Right. For you. Yeah.
Bad.
Right. And I think it's so amazing that, you were able to identify it because sometimes we would just rather just keep on in those cycles rather than doing the work to get to where we need to be, to get to that place of healing. And I think that when you have this ability now to really face yourself and see yourself outside of distractions, outside of relationships, outside of social media, you're able to see like the work that really needs to be done. So I think that it's very commendable for you to be able to not only identify it, but then work at it. Yeah. And that brings me to my next point. I know that you speak a lot about self-love. And there was a quote that you said, I hope I don't butcher it, but it was something along the lines of like, self-love requires maintenance. And when you fail to maintain that, then you'll end up deteriorating. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something along those lines. Yeah. And so how did you get to the place of not only developing, but maintaining self-love?
For sure. And thank you for the quote, for showing love to my quote. I like I said, I like to come up with analogies that people can relate to. And when I was thinking about that, I was thinking about a car. If you think about a car, that's usually something that we have. And if you're struggling with money or you're doing paycheck to paycheck, we would sometimes put off certain things, knowing like if we just got paid, like, all right, I need to get new brakes, but I really want them new Jordans or I need to buy that game. So I think we all done it before if you had a car before of, putting off or putting back payments on a car that needs to get paid, or like, it's too expensive right now, and we do little bit by little bit, and
Right.
that car is just getting more worse and worse because we're using it every day.
Right.
That's like, you are waking up every day, so it's like each day that you're pushing back something that you need to work on and heal from, you're just damaging yourself more. As a boy, I don't think we're teaching boys early on, or men in general, how to pour into themselves. And I think the ways that we teach men or boys to do that is by having a nice body or having money.
Right.
And even the working out part, I think we try to teach in a way just have a nice bod, but
Right.
there's meditation, there's healing that comes with working out and the process of shaping your body. And then money, I learned that money don't bring you happiness because at the charter school, I was getting paid $60K. And I know it's not a lot, but for me at the time, as a 23-year-old, 24-year-old,
yeah,
that was a lot for me, and I still wasn't happy. So for me, it was pretty much I had to study myself. Like if you're studying for a test, I started studying myself, and I get it. Not everybody can as aware as you, and I would say some of those ways as maybe if you're not fully aware, how can you come more aware? But for me, I started just looking at myself as like a project, like as a science project or math, whatever project in school, and I started studying myself. All right, why do you act like this anytime when somebody does this, or why do you? I started realizing like you're moody, like you're in the conversations you have with people can affect you. Like I learned that I'm an empath. Like I just feel everything. I was just all right. I realized around this time of 8 p.m. you start to get a little late. Like just started studying myself, studying my habits. I started looking in the mirror. I was praying more and like God help me expose these things. So one, was studying myself. Two, I don't like reading, but I started reading more. I started reading books more. And not only just read, but started to practice implying those things that I'm reading, like trying them out. Because you can read all you want, but if you don't implement it, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? If you're not applying it to your life, it really doesn't matter what you're reading because it's just going through one ear after the other. I started being more conscious of energy, the people I have around me. I'm a lover boy. I realized I was a yes man. So I didn't know how to say no to people. I didn't know how to have boundaries in terms of self-balance of what things you could do or you shouldn't be doing. Myself after my last breakup, I did not want to just jump into sleeping with a woman or talking to random women because what I've learned is as a man, we need our ego stroked and nurtured. We do. And no woman will do that. And after when a woman, when someone breaks our heart, the ways that we feel like we can boost our ego back up is by talking to mad women.
My next question, so continue.
Sleeping with mad women. That is something that we're being taught from family members, friends. Why are you crying over her, bro? Let's talk to your girl right here. You know what I mean? Just move on. Like, just do those things. And I learned that I was just realizing and learning, like, that's not the way. That's not how you're not going to get healed because I'm broken. You're going to only break that person. Right. And they're going to break somebody else. And this is going to be another cycle. Two, my last relationship taught me about soul ties. I didn't know what a soul tie was until like I started reading in it and like narcissistic people and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, you was with a narcissist at that moment. And you had a soul tie with her. Like that was the thing that kept making you always go back and connect with her. That and my connection with her mom and her family. So it was just like I realizing like the people you lay up with, their back is becoming part of yours because I started dating somebody at the beginning of 2018 and it was cool effort and then it just ended in 3 months. And I'm like, oh, you're not ready.
Right.
You're not ready. I thought she was the only one that was broken, but I'm like, you still have some issues too, bro. And that was just a clear sign to me because it's just like, yo, you connect with somebody, things is good for like a week or two or a month, and then boom, it just ends. And that's just today's dating life. I'm tired of that.
Yes.
Like that 1 month, you get so invested, and then boom, you like broken for like the next 3.
Right. And then
I got tired of that. Because it took me a while to like even get over that 3 months of dating her. I'm like, oh, like what the heck? And I'm like, yo, you have to learn how to be alone. You're not lonely. You're just single. You have to learn how to start pouring into yourself. How do a man love himself? So I started meditating. I started waking up earlier. I started changing up my diet. I started controlling the things that I'm watching. Like I don't watch fight videos no more. I don't watch try to not watch arrogant videos no more because that will affect my emotions or my mood at the moment. I started just trying to just control my temptations as like, whether it was women coming my way or not. And it's like, oh, bro, like they want you for what they think of you and what they see of you, but they don't really know you. They don't know you. Like they want Mr. Drummond, but I don't think they don't want Dorian. Dorian got some issues right now. Dorian needs to get healed. Writing worked for me. I write. I have a journal that I've been writing since middle school. And I put the date and I put the age on the top right corner. And it's always good just looking back at it. So I write a lot. So that's another thing that helps me. I became a tea person. There's like detox teas and things. Started doing yoga and meditation. Started going out to nature a little bit more, just more tune, things of that such. And just started to learn how to just say no to women that want to something fast with me or things of that such. Learning that, have some more self-respect about your body too. We always teach that about women, but we don't teach that about men. But we need to learn and teach that to our boys too, because the person you lay up with, their issues and their demons can become one with you.
Right. So you've been single for 3 years. Singleness, this is such a time that, one, you cannot get it back, but it's a time to develop, just qualities that will be needed for when you do decide to become, in a relationship or married to someone else. So how has this time of singleness prepared you, or how is it preparing you for a healthy relationship moving forward?
I've learned through scripture, I've learned through self-evaluation that singleness is the opportunity for God to allow God to still work on you.
Right.
And I just started learning that like the vision that He's placed in my heart and what He like the things that He told me, like, oh, this is how I can use you, or like this is what I have in store for you. In order for that to happen, to be with somebody right now, it means that they will have to really, like, our purpose will have to really be aligned. But, I was learning, like, I love being to myself. I'm an introvert. And when you're in a relationship, you got to worry about that person. Like, you have to worry about them. You have to talk to them. And I just started realizing, like, yo, I'm in a point right now, and I'm in a point in my life right now that I'm building something, and I want to be selfish. My time. And one thing I've learned that women need is they need consistency and security.
Yes.
If I'm not like that with myself right now, how can I give that to a woman?
Yeah.
I'm struggling being happy and being disciplined by myself right now. How can I be happy and be disciplined with a woman? If I'm still struggling with temptations right now as a single man, and I can't learn how to control them as a single man, how am I going to be able to control those temptations in a relationship? I was just learning in singleness. Singleness is the roadmap and guide to teach you how to become disciplined, how to set boundaries, and how to do these things within yourself. Because if you can learn how to do that within yourself, you'll be able to know how to do that within a relationship. So, for example, what is one relationship killer? Let's say finances, right? If I learn how to love myself during my times that I'm broke, in debt, and going through these issues, if I learn how to love myself during those times in that season that I'm in and how to get out of it, I'll learn how to go through that with somebody else who's going through that.
Right.
If I learn how to accept my body and how it is and how it's shaped, and to learn how to love it and embrace it, and if I want to change it, I can change it, I'll learn how to accept any woman that may not have the figure that I don't like, or I guess I'm not fond of. The whole point I'm trying to say is that what you pour in yourself and what you do with yourself in your singleness is you'll be able to learn in your relationship. People think, oh, when I settle down, I'll start doing these things, or I'll stop doing these things. No, it has to start. You have to start doing it and stop doing it in your singleness.
Exactly.
Who you are in your singleness is who you're going to bring in your relationship.
And I think that this is such a huge lesson, but what is in you is what will come out. And oftentimes people feel like, you know what, I'm going to just have my whole phase, but when I get married, then it'll stop. But you have to be able to just really utilize your singleness and not look at it as something that is happening to you, but something that is beneficial for you. But one thing I've noticed in my experience is that a lot of guys will say, well, I can't really be emotionally available, or I can't really give of myself because I've been hurt. But even though they're hurt and they're not able to give what it takes to maintain a healthy relationship, they still want the woman to be there and to hold them down and to, pour into them, even though they have nothing to give. And it's just like, just give me time, but then they're not actively working towards that. So how do you think that young men can find ways to not maintain healthy relationships, but find ways to get over past hurt, past pain, and past trauma from past relationships, so that it won't hinder their future relationship?
Yeah, they have to accept what's been done is done, and they have to learn how to embrace it. Not only that, embrace it, but let the pain go. And that's a whole process itself as well. They have to also forgive themselves, because as a man, when we've been hurt by someone that got the best of us, our pride is attacked in a way. We kind of feel weak. We feel like any type of word you can come up with, and we hold on to those memories for a while. So we got to let our pride go.
Pride.
It's like, I'm not letting no woman get the best of me like that. Like, we do things like that to ourselves, and what we don't really realize is that we put up this guard up in this wall to not feel those feelings again, to not feel vulnerable again. But with the right woman, she won't take advantage of you. I've always been an emotional and sensitive dude, and I felt like through my bad experiences, I call them my bad apples in my past, I was taught through those times, like, being like that, I'm considered a weak man.
Right.
And when I've learned that, I started internalizing it, and then I became that. Like, oh, I can't show no emotions because I'm weak. But then I was trying to be somebody that I'm not. I got away from who I really am. The whole creating of Mr. Drummond was to like, Mr. Drummond, I call it like my alter ego. It's the man when the lights is on. It's the Showtime guy, the motivational speakers, all those things. But I started realizing Mr. Drummond became this guard to hide Dorian for people.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Dorian is the introvert. Dorian's the guy who likes to play video games. Dorian's the guy that watch cartoon and anime. Dorian's the guy who cries and do those things. But that was the dude that my ex had, and I was taking advantage of.
Right.
Mr. Drummond's the one that everybody loves and likes and thinks he's all perfect and special and all those other things. But then when they meet Dorian, it's like it's a big difference. I have abandonment issues. I've been left a lot in my life early on. And I learned that, you know what I mean? And people don't understand is like, even by being born into foster care, I still took that as like my mom giving me up, because it's like my mindset is like, why would you do a drug when you ain't pregnant?
Right. Yeah.
Man, so I can't, you can't hurt me if I don't allow you to get close to me. And that's when a lot of men start building that type of mindset after they get hurt, after first whatever. It's like, if I don't let you close to me, you can't hurt me. But I still need you to pour into me and nurture me, because I'm trying to heal. And that's what a lot of young cats and a lot of men get twisted. It's not a woman's job to fix us. And I had posted a video about that too, because that's what the temporary pleasures are after a breakup, of just sleeping with women and talking to any woman and all that. It's just to kind of get those voids filled. But those are temporary things that you're getting filled.
I think that there's so much, and we'll probably have to do a part 2 of this, but I feel like there's, a lot of societal expectations, and there are a lot of things, like when it comes to mental health, that are being manifested in relationships that ties back to our mental health that we don't often see. So I'm glad that you were able to really come here today and to come here today and to like really explain all of this and, share your experiences and your lessons. And, I really feel like that there will be so many young men who watch this who will learn something new or be able to see themselves, in you.
This is that I always tell people that procrastination is like a spit in the face of time. Like, if time was a human, every time you procrastinate, it's like you're spitting in the face of time. And pretty much what you're telling yourself is that you will be here tomorrow, and that you have time on your hands to, like, I'll get to that. I'll fix that issue. I'll heal later on. Or like, this is hard. When we said this is just the way I am.
Yeah.
Or well, I didn't have no daddy in my life, where I'll go like this, and it's all right. Every time we keep saying that to ourselves, at what point do we say enough's enough? I'm 26 right now. Am I gonna keep saying why certain things didn't work out, or why the way I am because I was adopted at 30? Am I going to do the same thing when I turn 40, 45, 54?
Right.
At what point do I say enough's enough? Because what I need young black men to understand is that, yes, you don't get to control what type of environment you're born into. Yes, there's some things that that you have to tackle and go through that you probably did not bring upon yourself. It's either two choices we can make. We're gonna either break the cycle or we're gonna continue it. And that's what I'm learning as an adult, is that it's not about us no more. It's about the people that comes after us. And if God has given me the strength to talk about my story and I don't use that, I'm being selfish with my gift right now, because through my pain, it could bring healing to others. So anything I'll just tell people is that it don't matter where you start, it only matters where you finish. And you can be the chain breaker, or you could be the person who continues the cycle. So do you want to make history, or do you want to be a part of it?
All of that is just good. I'm not even going to read it. You said it all. And so I just want to thank you again just for joining me and for doing this, and just to continue doing what you're doing. I know that you're making such an impact in the lives of so many people, and what you have is needed. So continue to do what you're doing and allow your experiences to shape and mold you so that you'll be able to continue to pour into people, because what you have is needed. So thank you again so much for joining me. It was amazing. And for those of you who are watching, thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. Please leave any comments. And also, Dorian, can you just let the people know where they can find you on social media?
Of course. And before I even say that, thank you for having me on your show. I see the work that you're doing as well, and I want to always give credit where credit's due. So you're doing an amazing job, especially holding it down for women in general, especially our women in color. So thank you for having me up here. Go by the name of Mr. Drummond again. You can follow me on YouTube, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and IG. It's all Mr. Drummond, Mr.Drummond. All my channels is Mr. Drummond or Mr. Drummond Talks. And just thank you, man. Just thank you for tuning in, and thank you, Ms. Taylor, for giving me an opportunity to speak.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll leave his information in the description box. Bye.
God bless.